con nosotros en el colegio a fin de colaborarnos con el fortalecimiento del proyecto de inglés. Hemos creído que es importante realizar este tipo de entrevistas para que nos quede como dentro de la historia del proyecto de inglés y en la historia del colegio, eh, cómo estas experiencias nos ayudan a fortalecer no solamente la parte de inglés, sino la parte cultural del colegio. Entonces, les presento a Ave. Ella ha venido desde Inglaterra y vamos a hacer esta pequeña conversación. So, hi Abby, welcome to Colombia.
Thank you very much.
How is everything?
I like it. I think it's a very wonderful place to be.
Okay, first of all I want to know, what was your first impression of Colombia?
My first impression of Colombia was that it was going to be very hot,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that it wasn't overwhelming. You know, it's just a very comfortable place to be. And people are very friendly, very helpful when I came at the airport. And yes, it's been the same ever since. So
Okay,
it's
good.
good.
But this impression changed from after your first week, or
I think it's still the same impression I have.
the same.
It's been very consistent. Everyone has still been very friendly to me, very helpful. It's a nice place to be.
Okay. Could you tell me something about the nature here? For example, the weather, geography.
Well, for January, I think that it's actually very mild here. It's sunny, but not too overwhelmingly hot. And in any case, it's better than all the rain in London. So that's a good thing. And when it comes to geography, the view that you get from every corner of Bogota or anywhere in Colombia is just beautiful. You have lots of mountains, lots of valleys. It's very green, and that makes it a very serene place to be.
Okay, thank you. How was your little trip until the restaurant?
The restaurant was good.
Was good landscape?
Good landscape with everything, good food, which is the most important thing. So, mucho gusto.
Okay.
Oh, me gusto mucho, I should say.
Yes, good.
Switch them
Good
around.
Spanish. She's learning Spanish as well.
Slowly.
So, at the final of the video, you're going to say some words in Spanish.
I'll try. We shall
Please.
see. Okay.
Okay. What do you think about Colombian people?
Colombian people, they're very easygoing, and I find that they have a very strong sense of community here. It means that everyone's very willing to help everyone else. And another thing is they're very, very polite. I don't think I've heard the words please and thank you so often as I have here. Usually you don't get please and thank you in a big city, but certainly in Bogota I hear that a lot, so that's a good thing.
Okay. And how do you feel being a foreigner in Colombia?
Comfortable, very, very comfortable, because as I said before, people are they have very open hearts. It doesn't matter if you're Colombian or from somewhere else, you know, you still feel like you're part of the group here. And the thing is, with Colombia having such a diverse background of cultures, it means that someone from any part of the world can really relate to at least one aspect of Colombian culture because of all these influences, all these global influences throughout history, and as well from today.
Okay. So now we'll continue with things about the school. How was your first impression of the school with regards of the locations, grounds and buildings?
Well, when you first go into the school, you're met with this very big gate, but then you open the gate and you kind of walk into a fantasy. You know, the grounds are... So when you're at ease, it's much better to learn. You have a better mentality to learn. So the grounds are certainly beautiful. And the location itself is quite convenient, I think, for various students. So when you're at ease, it's much better to learn. You have a better mentality to learn. So the grounds are certainly beautiful. And the location itself is quite convenient, I think, for various students around Bogota to access. So it's easy for them to get from their house to the location as well. When it comes to the buildings, my favorite thing about the buildings is that they're so colorful. You know, you've got these really bright, bold colors that are stimulating. It's visually very stimulating. So again, that's a good thing for the students to see at the beginning of their school day.
This is different than the other schools Did you have been there?
The schools in the United Kingdom tend to be one big massive building. So you'll have all the classes in a building which has different stories. But in your school, in Maximilio Kolbe, you have these individual small buildings to house just one class. So that can be something, again, that can stimulate the students knowing that this is our space, only for us, only for our year. And yeah, that's a good thing.
Okay. What do you think about the English language program at the school?
English language program at the school is quite good in several different ways. First of all, you've implemented a lot of different Cambridge exams into the English language program, which is good because it focuses the students' ability onto something more constructive for their future. You know, for example, the IELTS exam, they will need that if they want to study at an English-speaking university in the United Kingdom, in the USA. Pressure in these classes to necessarily achieve a particular exam. All they're doing is practicing their general language ability and their general communication, and that pressure in these classes to necessarily achieve a particular exam. All they're doing is practicing their general language ability and their general communication, and that boosts their confidence when speaking English because they can relax into the language much better. And so that's the kind of main things about the English language program. But there's another practical thing which is good for English classes, is that you've split the classes up. So instead of having 25 students in one class, you have about 12 students in the class, and that's much more practical because it means more communication can happen, and also more help from the teacher can happen in these smaller groups. So that's a very practical addition you have now to the language.
Do you think it's
program.
better divide groups? When you have 25 students is more than enough.
25 students, certainly you can still do constructive classes with 25 students in it, but you'll always be able to give more attention to individual students if it's a smaller group.
That's
So
good, yeah.
it's definitely a smart move to have 12 to 15 students per class when it comes to language.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm sorry for this.
No problem.
Okay, continue with things about you. Why is planning important in your culture?
Planning is important so you can have a very good result at the end of whatever project you are trying to follow. If you don't plan, and when it comes to performing, you will probably not get the best results that you want. But if you have a plan beforehand, then certainly it's always better, I find, to be more successful in your goal.
Okay.